Captain's Log Supplemental. We had a mostly minor incident with our transporter earlier today. We picked up Lieutenant Ryder from their leave, along with the rest of her family. Everyone is safe, but we appear to have accidentally duplicated their dog, Molly. Now, both of her daughters are arguing over which Molly is the real Molly. Our transporter crew tried to put both back in the buffer and reintegrate them, but the girls started shrieking that we would wind up killing the real one, whichever one that one thought that it was. I love dogs, but I can't for the life of me understand why we even need to worry about this. We initially limited families to a single pet, but I say we make an exception here and just let him keep both.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Captain's Log Supplemental. My name is Stanford. I am joined by my two co-hosts, Rob.
Hello.
And Chris.
Hey there.
We are also joined by our lovely producer, Mariah.
Hi there.
To get the boring stuff out of the way first, we are a Star Trek rewatch podcast. We're rewatching all of Star Trek in chronological order. We have started with Enterprise. We are on season 3 of Enterprise, so we're getting to the end of this part of the nightmare. If you like what you hear, or if you don't, I don't care. Give us a rating, give us a review, tell your friends about us. Go check out our YouTube channel. All of the episodes are now being posted on YouTube as I go live with them. So I am catching up on the older ones, but I am also pushing the ones that we are doing on Mondays, like live. So if you listening on YouTube is your thing, which apparently it is for some people, then you're welcome to grab our podcast there as like videos.
Coolio.
Yeah, I'm doing YouTube short thingies too, so yeah, we're getting a little bit of engagement off that too. I'm hoping to get a little more audience for this wonderful podcast that we've got going here.
We are the best.
You're so, like, social media savvy.
Yeah, let me tell you. So what's up with everybody? Usually I come prepared with some kind of small talk topic, but I did not this time.
This is now my second week back in the office, and I do not like it.
It's the worst.
Yeah, being in an office is fucking awful.
I keep getting interrupted by people. Like, they just want to talk. And, like, I'm doing the thing where, like, I've got my headphones in, I'm clearly staring at my computer, I'm working. And people keep, like, coming up behind me, and then they stand there and wait for me to acknowledge them. And if I don't,
Jesus.
My one neighbor, she just, like, sat down on my desk.
What?
Like,
she was weird.
Yeah, she was fully intent on making me talk to her.
Do they have anything useful for you?
No.
Nope, this is all non sequitur.
Oh, God. That sounds awful.
It's the worst.
We did start watching the last season of Discovery. Do you know if it's done airing, Chris, or are there more coming?
That's a good question.
There are 7 episodes on the stream right now, so I don't know if that's all of them. 7 seems like a weird number to
No, usually it's at least 8.
Discovery, I think, was usually 10, although there may have been a couple seasons that were shorter. But we watched the first 3 episodes last night, and yeah, the show hasn't really gotten better.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah, that's how I felt about halfway through the last season, like season 4. I'm just like, all right, I don't need.
And what's interesting, especially now listening to y'all talking about this podcast or this season of Star Trek, is Discovery isn't of course the acting is really good and the CGI is amazing. It plays like a movie and it's so intense. But the dialogue is still not better because that's not how people talk to each other. So it just gets, every scene is just exhausting because there's just this speech.
Yeah. The fact that, like, none of the characters can just fucking talk to each other. They all have to, like, pontificate at one another. Yeah, so like and so far for the first 3 episodes, it's just been this like MacGuffin hunt, and they're not even like really trying to be clever about it. It's just like it's literally what the plot of the season seems to be is they're hunting for a MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
And it's
MacGuffin.
and it's just like we need a clue that goes to here, and then it goes to here, and then there's a clue, and then there's a guy who's gonna give us the next clue. And it's like, what the is this Carmen Sandiego? What the fuck are we doing here?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
God,
that was
damn.
That was the whole thing with like the Fire Angel arc too.
Yeah, but it's worse.
Sorry.
What the fuck?
What the hell was that?
Chris, are you okay?
I am very mucusy right now. I apologize.
Did you have to do that into the microphone?
Was that a
I thought
French bulldog? Jesus Christ.
I thought I had hit the mute button. Apparently, I did not.
But like, yeah, like the Fire Angel season was pretty MacGuffin-y as well. But this one, they're literally hunting for a fucking thing. Like, it's a little puzzle they have to put together. And it's I don't know, it's just dumb.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like the USS MacGuffin.
It's like, that would be fucking amazing. It's literally like a scavenger hunt. And that's the plot, is a scavenger hunt left by some people. And not like, oh, they're stumbling upon an ancient trail of a person who was doing something. No. They're doing a scavenger hunt that was written by a bunch of people who set out to make a scavenger hunt. That was the whole fucking point. There's been riddles and shit. It's been stupid. Like, this is not what I signed up for. Man, just show me some spaceships and shit. Let's go.
So yeah, Star Trek. We do love that show.
Oh, man. Anyways, this week's episode of Enterprise is called The Exile, and we open with Hoshi getting ghosted.
Yeah, she's just hearing voices. A little shadowy figure happening.
Yeah.
And I can immediately tell this is gonna be a classic Enterprise creeper episode.
Yeah, I was really worried this was going to turn into like an Enterprise Ronin ghost encounter.
I will say, I was worried it was going to be worse.
Yeah.
Because
it could have been.
It could have been much worse. It was not, though.
Instead we just get Enterprise Beauty and the Beast episode.
Yeah.
That was immediately what I thought about.
Yeah, if the Beast had like crab legs sticking off of his head.
And finger fronds.
So yeah, we open with Hoshi hearing things and then seeing a ghost, and we cut from her like being very freaked out by that into a jangly Faith of the Heart.
It's never not jarring.
Unless the cold open is going to be at a barbecue with a banjo, this new take on Faith of the Heart cannot be a jarring transition.
Yeah,
or cannot not be.
Yeah. Like, what if they're on like Risa, like on a beach or something? Would it work then?
No, I feel like Risa, it's too futuristic.
And too sensual. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to get it on. Here we go. Jangly steel guitar. Oh, Jesus Christ. I almost dropped my entire water onto my computer. That would have been bad.
Yeah, don't recommend that.
My old computer was just vented on the sides, but my new computer has a big old vent on the top. All that watery goodness can get down into the computer.
Just water cooling.
Yeah, it's liquid cooling. It's fine.
Liquid cooled. It is a liquid cooled computer. Yeah, it'll be fine then. So we get back to out of the opening to Paul and Archer discussing a revelation she has had about like how the anomalies are mapped around the sphere, and she's like, I think there's a second sphere based on how these anomalies, which like cool, but also did no one else who lives here figure this out? It doesn't seem very hard. Like,
they're not smart. It's fine.
The Enterprise has only been here for a few months. There are people who've lived their entire civilizations in this fucking expanse, and none of them figured it out.
Well, you see, it's the human, just thirst for discovery and exploration, and I don't fucking know.
What'd you say, Rob?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, okay, good times. Hoshi is then kind of telling Reed about her experience. Reed is the least comforting person in the world.
Yeah. What, a British person?
Right.
No.
So then she goes to Dr. Phlox, and Dr. Phlox is basically like, well, what I can tell you is you seem like you're a crazy bitch. That's my professional medical opinion.
This is very shades of 18th century doctors diagnosing women with the crazy.
Yeah, he effectively diagnoses her with hysteria without actually saying that. Yeah. Although we get this weird insight into Denobulan culture, where apparently they see hallucinations as a healthy release of stress.
Huh.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would hope that there's at least mushrooms or something involved.
I see Nikki is going to be on the podcast.
He's having words out there, I guess.
So she says she has to translate a section of the Xindi database for T'Pol. That seems weird to me because, shouldn't that be what she's doing always? Isn't that the whole point of all of this? But she's working on the Xindi database, and she gets the ghost, image in her head again, and the ghost is like, come see me, and he shows her a picture of the planet on the monitors, and then the monitors all show her in this, weird... I don't know, they're trying to do a Clockwork Orange kind of thing.
Yeah, he's don't be frightened, but I'm going to immediately do this very creepy thing.
This incredibly crazy-ass thing. And this is where I wrote, it's no, it's just a harmless expression of stress. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
She hallucinates, this whole sequence where she's, in this castle that's in this mountain. And it's not until Reed comes in to check on her that she realizes that it's a hallucination. This is where I wrote, is this going to be a Sub Rosa episode? Is this where Crusher's fuck ghost got started?
Probably.
However, Hoshi seems, they go back to the doctor, and Hoshi is convinced at this point that this is not just some random hallucination. This is a dude trying to talk to me from across the stars. But everyone's kind of I guess maybe. And Archer, in a strange bout of support, is well, go get some rest, and we'll post a security force outside your room and around some of the important parts of the ship. And Reed says, are you expecting an attack, sir? Motherfucker, what? Have you paid any attention to what's been going on so far? Reed's well, would you want us to hit her if she's hysterical again, sir? What the fuck? So, Hoshi has another, hallucinatory experience where Phlox gets kind of I don't know, it's an illusion of Phlox. And it's kind of creepy, because, it's the closest we get to Phlox's face, and he's being all serious, and his eyes are weird.
He's also, talking, not with, the Phlox voice.
Right.
Yeah.
And intonations.
It was creepy, but it really shows, John Billingsley is a really good actor.
Although it is a close-up on his, I don't know if it is a neurogenic thing, but he talks out of the side of his mouth. And, you see it a lot when he's, in everything he does. But, when it's a real close-up on his face just giving a fucking speech, it's real distracting. And I can't figure out what it is. I don't know if it's, that thing that Sylvester Stallone has, or...
I don't know. But yeah, I have noticed that as well. I've seen him in other things, and he does it there, too.
Yes. However, Phlox kind of explains everything. There's an exile on a planet, and he would like Hoshi to come visit him because she's special, because she's super special mind lady. So all of the mystery was just solved. They just went ahead and took care of that. Which I guess, I'm fine with in terms of the pacing of the story. I feel like you could have just not couched it as a mystery. You could have just started with, hey, I'm getting psycho-connected to some dude, like a collect call. Can we figure this out? Rather than dealing with this, is it a hallucination? Is she just hysterical? What's going on? It's silly, you know? So they go to the planet. The planet is actually pretty from orbit. It's got, greenish seas, and it feels very like Ego from Guardians 2, as we're kind of landing on this planet. It's a big ass castle that's like dug into a mountain and looks cool as hell. I don't know who the set designer was on the CGI castle, but they did a good job. And then the Exile shows up, and it turns out he's an ugly dude with crab legs on his head.
He's like, sorry about catfishing you. This is actually me.
Yeah, and this is where I'm like, gotcha, Beauty and the Beast. Okay, no problem.
Yep.
Act 2 is when, because he kind of reveals himself right at the end of the commercial break. It comes back to him being like, I'm sorry that I'm not what you expected. And Hoshi, I don't know, gives his face.
Sorry, I lied on my dating profile.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, I never would have come if I knew you weren't hot. Like, that's kind of the expression here. He's like, I can take a look at your Zindi artifact. That's the theoretical reason that they're all coming here, is like, if he can get a psychic impression from the Zindi artifact that they have from Earth in order to find where the Zindi are. And he's like, I can do that, but I need, under one condition, I need Hoshi to stay here for a few days.
I need a hot assistant.
And this is where I'm like, oh, gross, no, fuck you. The answer is no. Archer's like, and to Archer's credit, he's like, no? Like, what the fuck are you? I think he even says, like, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
So the answer is no, the answer is no, the answer is no. But Hoshi's like, look, Captain, like I can hang out in this awesome castle for a few days. It's fine. I'll just avoid his creepy fingers.
In various sundresses.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And Archer's like, only if you're sure. And she's like, yeah. So they go back up to Enterprise, and T'Pol's like, so anyways, we got nothing to do for a few days. Let's go check out this fucking sphere. And they leave Hoshi on the planet. Like,
alone.
They leave orbit. They go away, like light years away from her, which is the part where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this couldn't wait? Or if it couldn't wait, grab Hoshi and tell this dude that we'll be right back. Like,
Or just bring the dude with.
well, he has to stay on the castle, Rob.
Yeah.
Why?
Reason, shut up.
Because if he's kind of tall, and if he was on Enterprise, his crab legs would get caught in the light fixtures. Jeez, you're very insensitive to his condition.
I'm so sorry.
He takes like Hoshi's bag, and he does this like creepy hand touch thing that, like, I don't know, Hollywood loves this shit.
Multiple times in this episode.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the hand touching is. Yeah.
Stop it.
The other issue I have with these people leaving Hoshi with him is like they've already been given evidence that he can fuck with her head in like substantial ways. So like,
right.
By definition, this guy's already kind of a threat.
Yeah, danger zone. And Hoshi's just like, no, it'll be fine. I can take him.
It'll be fine.
And Archer's like, well, that's all I need. See ya.
The guy's like, hey, oh, sorry, go ahead, Rob.
No, she, like, at one point she tells Archer, like, it's okay, I'm going to keep the phase pistol under my pillow.
Yeah, which is a good line. The guy's like, hey, you can go anywhere you want in the castle. Don't go outside, though. It's windy. It's pretty much what he said.
The outside is the West Wing, apparently.
I don't understand.
Sorry, that's the part of the castle the Bell wasn't allowed to go to.
Okay. I was thinking it was going to be like a Jane Eyre kind of thing, because Star Trek loves Jane Eyre for some reason. But yeah.
Did Jane Eyre fuck a ghost?
Well, Jane Eyre is that like Janeway.
I was joking.
No. Anywho. Oh, okay. So he takes Hoshi to her room, and to this motherfucker's credit, and I guess it's easy when you read someone's mind, he knows how to give Hoshi a fucking present. Because he gives her this book that's like, this belongs to a long-lost dead language. Good luck. And she just gets immediately language horny about it.
Yeah.
She is into this fucking book.
She does. This is not the first time she's gotten language horny on the show.
That's what got her on Enterprise in the first place.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Klingon made her language horny.
Crableg says, yeah, come down for dinner when you're ready. Do we eat dinner yet? Maybe we ate dinner right here.
It's hard to remember because they had to cut the singing cutlery out of the final cut.
Yeah.
The furniture didn't make its appearance.
No, we haven't gotten to dinner yet because there was a mention of her grandma and stuff.
No, that's after. The dinner happens like right after she gets there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's at dinner and he's prepared all of her favorite foods that he found from her head.
Like Papa John's Hawaiian pizza.
Mm-hmm. I will say I am proud of them for not just being like, it's all of your favorite foods, okonomiyaki and soba and fucking ramen, like, because you know how she's Japanese.
Right, yeah, that's true.
And she's like, she takes a bite of the pizza. She's like, it's fine. Although I'm going to say that pizza did not look fine. It looked kind of mushy. But like, it's probably acting pizza, so I doubt, yeah. Although I've heard that pizza is the worst thing to act with because you can't take multiple takes of pizza.
Right. Because then it just has to bite out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you just need to eat multiple slices of pizza.
You have to take one bite of several slices of pizza.
Sounds like an absolute win.
We come back to the Enterprise where Archer's bouncing his water polo ball against the wall.
This is fun. I like this.
And then it gets stuck. And it's stuck halfway into the wall. Mm-hmm. And then he buzzes the bridge and is like, I assume we're getting pretty close. And like I said in my notes, like, all right, that was a pretty good line. That was good.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
But then everything on the Enterprise starts breaking as anomalies sweep through the Enterprise because they're getting too close to a sphere.
Yeah, This whole scene was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Act 3, my first note. Why not coat one of the shuttles in Trellium D? Next note. Oh, hey, I'm so smart, because that's what they plan to do. So they're like, T'Pol, stay out of the shuttle bay for a little bit because you'll go fucking insane. We're gonna coat one of the shuttles in Trellium D because the anomalies near the sphere are much worse than the ones near the sphere that they had been to before. And they're afraid that it will literally tear the Enterprise apart. And since they can't coat the Enterprise in Trellium D because T'Pol will go insane in the membrane, they're going to take a little shuttle through. This is where we cut to, like, nightgown Hoshi. Although, it turns out it's not really a nightgown because she's wearing, like, she's wearing full-on pumps. But it is, like, a single color silk dress that,
one
like,
of
goes
several
to her
she
thighs.
had. Yeah, one of several, yeah.
It basically looks like a slip that she's wearing pumps with.
Why did she bring just like night dresses to this castle?
Yeah,
like,
I guess like she knew he was being creepy when she decided to stay. Like you'd think she was like, I'm bringing nothing but my uniforms.
Right. Like why does she have anything else but a uniform? This is a mission. Like it's not a vacation.
She's apparently and this is where I ask, how the absolute fuck is she translating a book with no context? That's literally impossible. Because she's working her way through this book, and this guy's like, how do you like it? And she's like, it's good. I'm like halfway through. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't. It's just meaningless without any context whatsoever. It reminds me of, there's this like manuscript that exists that's like written in some language nobody understands, and no one can translate it, and it's like a famous manuscript. It's got like all old drawings, and the characters in it are fucking weird, and it's got drawings of plants no one's ever seen before. This is a real life thing. I'm not like making this up. This is a real thing that exists.
The Voynich manuscript.
There it is. It's one of those things that's like, it's actually kind of creepy when you look at it because it's like, ew, it's weird that no one understands this.
Just some dudes who were like really high one time just wrote it all down.
And that's one of the theories is it's like a joke or like it's a hoax. But like we know the thing is hundreds of years old. So like the hoax of it is written from like the Middle Ages, you know, or however old it is. I don't know for certain.
Looks
or
like
it's
it was
like
carbon dated to 1400s.
There you go. Or
sounds like somebody got really high in the 1400s.
Yeah, or it's like it's actually the first science fiction book, and nobody can translate it to figure it out because it's like it's got like, you know, plants and animals that no one's ever seen and stuff. So it's like, oh, it could just be like a fantasy book or whatever, but in a dead language. It's fucking weird. And the other thing is like it's a book, like so this person wrote a book in a, you know, like Rob said, the 1400s, but we have no extant examples of this language anywhere else in the world. That's, like I said, it's a little creepy when you think about it. But anyways, this book that Hoshi is translating should be as impossible to translate. Because again, you got nothing to go on. It's just pictures or symbols, you know?
Well, you know, we got universal translators that don't really have context either, so...
So she decides that she's going to start walking around the castle to kind of just like explore the grounds a little bit. She finds the crab legs working on the Zindi device. He's using a like telepathic channeling orb. Now, the reason he is on this planet is because he is one of a very rare person on his homeworld that is bored with telepathic gifts, okay? 1 in 50 million people. And they don't like them anywhere near their homeworld because I guess
if they're like this guy, I don't blame him. Jesus.
Well, yeah. But so what they do is they exile them to other planets. Now, my question is, who makes these telepathic tools? Because obviously his species doesn't fucking like want telepaths anywhere near them. So who gave him the magic telepath orb?
Maybe one of his ex-girlfriends.
His companions. I didn't want to say girlfriend because that makes it worse.
I have interesting perspectives on some of this later. But he's like, yeah, this helps me to talk across the stars or whatever with my brain. And Hoshi's like, can you show me? And he's like, I don't see why not. Then he says like, okay, close your eyes, hold this and try to look for shapes, but you're trying too hard to find the shapes. And she's like, it's fucking weird. Then she goes through a mental stock footage library of like a bunch of random shit.
You're right. I'm like, hey, I remember these episodes.
Yeah, a lot of them are clips from Enterprise.
Yeah.
The guy's like, that was a good, she's like, wow, that was crazy. And how do you make sense of it all? And he's like, with practice. And then he's like, here, let me show you. And then he puts his hand on top of hers and she gets kind of creeped out. She's like, okay, never mind. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't ask you to be gross. Come on.
And to his credit, although limited as it is, he doesn't push. He's like, I'm sorry, come back if you want some more company. But, he lets her leave. She wanders around the castle a little bit. This is when I realize she's in pumps because she's in like 3 or 4 inch heels. And
yeah, just walking around the house heels.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. There's some weird kind of Lord of the Rings music going on here. I don't know who chose the music, but it's very un-Star Trek. He told her to not go outside, but she goes outside. Obviously, Chekhov's, don't go outside statement. And she finds graves outside, like burial graves. He's like, what the fuck are you doing out here? I told you it was dangerous. And she's like, who the fuck are these graves? And he's like, those are my former companions. And this is where we find out that this motherfucker is like 400 years old. And so he had one companion, but so the graves are buried companions of his. There were 3 or 4 of them. He didn't kill them. He just outlived them. But he pointed out that they lived here and they liked being with me, but at first a couple of them were a little resistant. It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, so he says he just outlived them. He says he just outlived them. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And then he brings her dead grandpa up for some reason, and it's like, ew, don't bring her dead grandpa into this.
Yes, it's very, very. I mean, and obviously this is intentional. This is what they're going for. But ew.
Yeah, and he kind of says something to the effect of you'll have plenty of time to think on it, implying that she's not going to get to leave.
Yeah, although very,
she doesn't
ominous
respond to that the way I would have expected. So I don't know if that was intentional or not.
The proper response was the fuck you say?
Yeah, exactly. But she basically excuses herself to her room, and I don't think comes out again until she expects the Enterprise to show up. We come back to the shuttle pod with Trip and Archer. They have some trouble getting through the cloaking field around the sphere. But they managed to punch through and find another Death Star. There's this weird kind of moment where they're both like, whoa, look at that. But they've already seen this before, so I don't know why they were stunned. They knew what was going to be here. T'Pol is helping them guide them in, but she's still looking at it from a view that is zoomed out to several light years. So I don't know how she's helping them. But I guess, I don't know. She's a Vulcan. She can do whatever. They land on the outside of the Death Star.
Well, because their scanners were busted from going through the
Yes.
space turbulence.
Yeah, the whole reason they're here is to get scans so that T'Pol can make an accurate map of the area and the anomalies, so that, theoretically, if they have an existing useful map of the anomalies, they don't need to code anything in TrellMD. They'll just avoid the anomalies.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so the scanners are broke, so they can't fix them unless they get to the outside, so they have to land on the sphere. This fucking scene, man.
So they land on
It was so great.
They land on the sphere, and they're trying to fix the scanners. The reason they land is because Trip has to access something on the underside of the shuttle. I don't know why they can't just do that in 0G. They have magnet boots and stuff, but for whatever reason, they're like, well, we'll land so he can fix it. They land, he starts fixing it, but he pops out some kind of relay or some shit, and one of the thrusters starts going, and the shuttle pod starts slowly lifting off of the sphere, and Trip is staring at it like, Cab, what the fuck? And they're both kind of looking at it, and I'm like, can someone go grab it? Just go run up and grab it. They decide that and then it starts going up off the sphere. It starts spinning because only one thruster is active. And Archer asks Trip, hey, can we take off without that thruster? And Trip's like, yeah, it'll be tough, but I think I can do it. So then they start shooting the shuttle pod. And I don't know. If the CGI was a little better, I don't think this would have been that bad of a scene, because it was kind of funny. And appropriately Star Trek-y in its slapstickiness. But they finally shoot the thruster, and that then the shuttle, because the sphere is big enough to have some gravity, so the shuttle falls back down to the sphere and bounces towards them. It's made of fucking rubber.
Yeah. Why did it bounce toward them, though? I couldn't figure that out.
Because we had to do that cinematic, the thing slides to a stop right next to them, because they make no effort to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Not even a
cool
little.
guys don't look at explosions. Or something like that.
Okay, so so they both kind of ooh, that was close. We cut back to Hoshi, who's reading a book on her bed. The Crablegs comes in and is like, the Enterprise will be here in a few minutes. Have you changed your mind? And Hoshi's like, nah. And he's like, okay. And this is where I'm like, okay, this is going to get gaslighty and gross real quick.
Yeah.
And there's the ominous music. Obviously, fake Archer shows up in her room.
So obviously fake Archer.
She doesn't know that it's fake Archer, which, to be fair, who can tell with Scott Bakula's general accent? But he's like, Hoshi, I think you should stay here. And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah, you should stay here because he's going to keep feeding us information about the Xindi and we need to go. We'll come get you when we're done. And Hoshi's like, I guess, but let me go get my things off the ship. And fake Archer's like, no. We'll bring your shit down here. Don't worry. And she's like,
but
okay,
I want to say goodbye to everybody.
Can I go say goodbye to everyone? Or just there's no time. There's no time for goodbyes, you fucking bitch. And then
which, by the way, I just want to point out, this is the exact stuff that people get trained on for looking for fraud. Fake sense of urgency.
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow, the Enterprise actually does show up in orbit, and somehow he shuts their ship down. It wasn't clear whether he was using his telepathicness or some kind of technology to do this, but somehow he shuts the Enterprise down and then threatens Hoshi with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was never pictured, so I just kind of assumed he was using his mind bullets.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Mind bullets.
Hoshi says no enough times that he's finally like, well, fine. And he powers the Enterprise back up and sends her back.
He's like, I'll smash your fucking glowy egg thing.
Oh, that's
right.
She threatens to smash his tool. And he's like, that's an empty threat because I've already got you here. And she's,
what about when I die in 60 years?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And he's like, oh, fuck, 60 years. Oh, shit, that's right. You're a short-lived species. She convinces him basically to let her go. And she gets back up to the Enterprise, and she's basically like, sorry, he didn't give me very much data because of this. And Archer's like, that's totally fine. Like, it's fine. We will figure it out.
Sorry about leaving you there. Okay. Bye.
In the meantime, T'Pol is looking for the spheres, and she does her calculations and finds out that there's like a lot of them. And she's like, I think there's going to be 50 of them. And Archer goes, 50 man-made spheres? No, motherfucker. Not man-made. That was kind of the whole point. But like, I don't know who the fuck wrote that line. Come on, man. But there's 50 spheres, and she figures it all out with using these two. And the map of the anomaly is great. Awesome. It's kind of like this moment of revelation, but it's also like, yeah, whatever. And then the last scene is, well, the second to last scene is Hoshi getting visited by crab legs again. And he's like, she's like, I told you not to fucking call me. And he's like, this will be the last time, I swear. But he, I guess he feels bad, so he gives her the Xindi information anyways. And she goes over to Archer and is like, hey, Archer, hey, crab legs came and saw me. And Archer, to his credit, looks fucking mad about it. He's like, I guess we're just going to go back and glass his planet. Like, fuck this fucking guy. But she's like, no, he said sorry, and he gave me the information we need. We now have the location of, like, a planet where they worked on part of the device and are building part of the newer device. And that was the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Couple trivia notes on this one. So the stained glass windows in the dinner scene were from Shinzon's dining room in Star Trek Nemesis, which I thought was funny.
That's fun.
Also, this was apparently the first episode of any type of Star Trek series that was aired in HD.
Oh, crazy.
That does not surprise me, because you can kind of see it looks a little better with all the set dressing and stuff. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
So, thought that was interesting. But yeah, it's right about that time, those, early 2000s when everything was transferring over.
This was 2003, I think?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Cool. Okay, so on a scale from 1 to 5, where 0 is threshold, would y'all think of this one?
It was 3 for me. It was pretty standard Trek stuff. Despite the icky feelings at certain parts. It was fine.
Okay,
oh
Rob?
God, I keep waffling back and forth between a 2 and a 3. The only reason I was leaning towards a 2 originally is just because, like, I don't know, it's another episode where not a whole lot happens, like,
That's
important to the overarching story.
They accomplish nothing in this episode until, like, the last seconds.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the B plot, like, it's just not even, like, the major part of the episode, but I mean, you're right. Like, it's just kind of standard filler Trek. I'll also give it a 3.
So I wasn't sure whether to give it a 2 or a 3, and I don't agree entirely, Rob, that there isn't a lot going on, because, like, we've kind of solved the issue with the Trillium D deficiency, and we also have the next step of, like, where we're going to look for the Xindi. I think those are, given that it's a 24 episode season, like, I think those are sufficient advances in, like, the main kind of MacGuffins of what's going on in this plot right now, that felt appropriate for an episode.
Well, do we go over the part where they find out there's like 50 spheres and not just 2?
That, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So
yeah,
I must have missed it.
I guess you're right. Like, it's the longer seasons that are just kind of killing it for me. Like,
sure,
it moves as slow as like a Wheel of Time novel.
That I was prepared to give it a 2 because I thought that this shit was getting too creepy. However, as I said at the beginning, it did not get as bad as I was worried it was going to.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't know if this was intentional, but I think that if you look at it from a perspective of, here is a very long-lived person who doesn't really understand, like, short-lived people, it actually doesn't, it's not as bad, because, like, yes, he
understands he's got 4 of them buried up behind his castle.
Right. But my point is that, like, it's one of those things where it's like, because to him, the initial reticence that these people may have had, a couple years before Stockholm Syndrome sets in or whatever the fuck. To a person who lives 70, 80 years, that is a substantial amount of time. To a person who lives 400 years, it's really not. So I'm not saying that what he's doing is justified. What I am saying is that a person who is exiled and living that long would absolutely have a warped sense of, like, what is a reasonable amount of disagreement with someone, especially in terms of time. And that, to me, like, and I think it's a good reason as to why he's creepy, which is why I kind of let the story go on some of the creepiness, because I think that like, if you had to write a story about, like, an exile who's very fucking lonely and living a long time, they're gonna do shit like this, right? Yeah. And so, I don't know. I think it felt like well paced, I guess is the best word I can use.
I think it's important that the horniest that they got was, like, him, like, creepily touching her hand. I think that helps it not be offensive. Like, icky feeling intentionally, but not super offensive or anything.
Yeah, so. If he had like hallucination fucked her, like, that would have been bad. I would have immediately dropped it down to a 2 or a 1 for that. Like, that's unacceptable.
Right.
I think it also helps that they clearly made it appear creepy. Like, they were saying that it wasn't, like, appropriate. One of the characters actually says that it's not appropriate.
Yeah, there was never a moral conundrum here as to whether or not she should stay. Like, it was pretty clear that was wrong. Yeah.
It didn't dip into, like, classic Hollywood, you know, women are property type situation.
Right. And that's why I have a hard time calling it a classic Beauty and the Beast story, because, like, it actually throws off that trope at the end. Because the trope in Beauty and the Beast is she decides to love, right? Which is extraordinarily problematic. Plus, she looks incredibly disappointed when he turns into just some lame dude instead of that sexy bulldog she fell in love with. There's a whole meme about how, like, her face, it's like the disappointment when he turns into some random dude. So I gave it a 3. It's not, I think like the way the story went allowed the creepiness to be part of the story in a productive way. The other thing I was thinking is, like, I know that because it is 2003 and this is how we treat women, like, the episode made it a man and Hoshi, but the story would have worked just as well if it was just, like, another dude and he just wanted a friend, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I agree. And, you know, they also have to be sexual. The 2003, that you definitely see that in the attire that they put her in the episode. Like, why was she in dresses, like, the whole time? Right.
Absolutely.
Why?
So it could have been better. Could have been a lot worse. So I think I'm settled on a 3 as well, which I think makes this the highest rated season I have so far.
Ah.
Ooh.
All right. Well, we will be right back with a deep dive. Welcome back, everybody. So, today's deep dive for me is going to feel a little potpourri adjacent, but it came from, it was actually kind of Mariah's idea, because it came from a discussion I was having with my siblings who came to visit me today, where we often throw, like, trivia back and forth at each other as kind of a fun, like, way to pretend we're smart about shit. And today's trivia topic happened to be, like, state symbols. So we're like, what's the state bird of Kentucky? Wee! Like, that was what we were doing. We're not exciting people.
It's the cardinal.
Thank you. Do you remember now the state mineral of Kentucky?
Oh, God.
It's coal.
Of course it's coal.
Well, sure.
So anyways, that Mariah was suggesting, like, well, what if you did, like, you know, like, the symbols of various things in Star Trek? And that actually does kind of fit nicely with Hoshi's being able to, like, translate a book that has no context, because like the meaning of a symbol is based entirely on its cultural context.
Sure.
That's the only way a symbol has any meaning. So I went and looked up the cultural context as much as I could in the universe of a bunch of the like big species government symbols.
Oh, fun.
So I have 10 of them. Now, we can format this in one of two ways. I can either just kind of go through them and we can talk about them, or I can run it as a little bit of a trivia game where I give you like a description of what the symbolism is and you try to guess which one I'm talking about.
Like a little Q&A thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, life's more fun when there's a trivia game for me to lose.
All right. Oh god, that means I have to keep score. Chris, keep score for me.
I didn't think this was like an actual trivia game. I thought it was just kind of like a...
Oh, okay. Well,
like a bantery.
We'll see how badly Rob does. All right. So I'll just start here and then just go through them. They're not in any particular order. Actually, you know what? I'll start at the first one I wrote down because it'll be an easy one. This symbol has 3 diamonds, which symbolize the 3 blades were those of the enemies of Kalas, who upon the defeat of the Mogoth all laid down their tog knives on the ground in fealty to Kalas, who then drew a circle around them. The Tog represents strength, duty, and sacrifice. The circle symbolizes honor. So yes, this is the Klingon symbol with a lore explanation that was actually from a video game.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it does seem like reasonable. I've always, as kind of a personal note, I've always really liked the Klingon symbol. I had a baseball hat with it that I got in Vegas when I was in like middle school. I've always liked the Klingon symbol. I always thought it looked very cool. And consequently, I've always liked the Mitsubishi logo because it looks very similar.
Yeah, you just got to turn them on their side a little bit, and it'll be a Klingon symbol.
Just make them uncurvy, and it's basically Mitsubishi. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's the Klingon one. Okay. This symbol represents nothing but consumption in a dog-eat-dog kind of style. It's a circle being eaten by a larger shape that is then being consumed by an even larger shape.
Ferengi?
That is correct.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Would it be helpful? I have them all here. Would you like me to show you them in the chat once you figure them out?
Sure, no, it's more fun doing the Pictionary version.
Once we answer them, you can post it.
After we answer. Yeah. And once you see it, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
I only got it because of your description, so... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes, and, you know...
It's the same shape as their ships.
Kind of. So the Ferengi is the first one I found out, like... And this is true of most of the symbols. Some designer designed them because they thought they were cool. Occasionally, the designer had kind of an idea in mind, and that is true of this one, where the guy was like, yeah, I like dog eat dog. And if you look at it, like, now it kind of makes sense, where there's...
Looks like a little dude being eaten with his arms up. No, don't eat me.
Huh, I didn't see that. I was thinking, like, a small Pac-Man gets eaten by a bigger Pac-Man.
That's what I see. And actually, it looks more like a person lying on their stomach with their hands up above them. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing.
That's morbid as hell. So cool. But yeah, so the theory is that it is a representation of like basically like survival of the fittest in such that like in such a way that only like extreme capitalism can like really come out.
Right.
Okay, this logo is clearly inspired by the UN logo with 2 olive branches surrounding a blue field of stars.
Oh, it's the Federation.
Correct. You all right, Rob?
Yeah, Federation.
Let me pull that up. Federation of Planets. United Federation of Planets. So every time I say these capital names, these empire names, like I hear in my head the voices and sounds from Birth of the Federation.
Was that voice acted?
Only a little bit. It was like that classic like 4X game where they voiced like a couple of the big events and stuff. So that is the Federation symbol. there is no consensus on what. So basically, there are 3 prominent stars,
Right.
and behind it are, this one's a little looser, so I don't know where this particular symbol comes from. But behind it, there are stars that are generally kind of laid out in like a galactic elliptical, and then there are some other stars kind of scattered around. The design intent of this logo was never expressly given. So people have often wondered, like, what do the 3 stars represent? As we will find out in this show, there are 4 founding species of the Federation. One kind of theory is that, like, the 3 stars represent the other 3 founding species from your planet, so it can kind of, like, be meaningful to all of them, rather than, like, having their placement matter and stuff. Another theory is that those stars actually stand for values of equality, compassion, and knowledge, which are like the 3 core values of the Federation. But like it is never actually in the canon explained what those are. But there are always 3 stars prominently displayed, and then behind them are generally a bunch of smaller stars with variances through the years as different designers have made.
I know what the stars are.
Oh,
Your mom.
Yeah, it's Archer, Trip, and T'Pol.
Are you sure it's not Archer, Reed, and T'Pol? Because Trip's fucking dead.
Yeah, by the time the Federation gets formed, he is.
Spoilers!
All right, next one. When they schismed from their people, they marched away beneath the Raptors' wings. Thus, the symbolism was
the
adopted.
Romulans,
That's
yeah.
correct. It is the Romulans.
Yeah, I know that one.
The Romulan symbol is this bird of prey. It was done in a couple of different colors.
Yeah, it's like blue and green, kind of, right?
Yes. And it actually stuck with those colors. So there was an original Romulan logo in the original TOS episode that they showed up in. But it was dumb and no one liked it. So it was just like some shapes.
Yeah, this one looks badass.
Yeah, so the eagle is actually clutching, or the raptor is actually clutching in its talons Romulus and Remus, the 2 planets, or
Makes
the 2
sense.
moons, I think. So yes, so whenever you're like, why do the Romulans also have a bird of prey? It's because the bird of prey is a core symbol to their culture. Okay. Based on a strong moral philosophy of infinite diversity in infinite combinations, a triangle resting on a circle pointing to a smaller circle.
Tolkien?
That is correct. So this one has kind of an interesting history. It was originally designed by Gene Roddenberry, and mostly as a marketing gimmick because he wanted to sell pins. So
Sure.
That one looks like jewelry.
yes, and so the actual symbol has a jewel in the middle. Like that's the every design, like every design of it is always like a jewel in the middle. So Roddenberry is like, hey, Leonard Nimoy, start wearing this because we want to sell them. And Leonard Nimoy's like, fuck you. So he goes over to Shatner and he's like, well, will you wear it? So people will buy them. And Shatner's like, no, go fuck yourself. And Roddenberry basically went back to Leonard Nimoy and said, please? And Leonard Nimoy's like, oh, fine. Apparently in the original, there is a script in which he discusses the concept of IDIC or IDIC, which is infinite diversity in infinite creation. No, infinite combinations. Roddenberry originally wrote like a 2-page like monologue that Spock was going to just basically recite, which like explained this concept and why the pin was important, so he could sell shit.
I was gonna say, this is like some early on ad placement shit, man.
Leonard Nimoy said, you cut this down or I'm taking this pin off. So they eventually cut it down, although the scene does still exist where Spock explains the concept of infinite diversity and infinite combinations, which is a Vulcan philosophy that the universe is so big and so full of things that you will never experience everything because everything can be combined with everything else. Kind of illuminating the idea that like all of chemistry is just combinations of fundamental particles, and all of physics is just combinations of fundamental forces and things like that. So that is what the core concept of quote unquote IDIC is. This symbol exists in pretty much every single Star Trek franchise at some point. I found a crazily detailed blog, which is not surprising, it's Star Trek, where a guy basically like goes through the evolution of these various symbols, and he talks about like in, you know, the original series, this is what it looked like. Here's what it looks like in Enterprise, and so on and so forth. And it's very interesting read if you're into symbology. But this symbol has remained pretty much unchanged since Roddenberry's original design. All right, next one. Seems to be based on some kind of scorpion.
Scorpion.
I mean, Cardassian?
That is correct.
Okay. I was thinking of their ships. I'm like, whose ships look like a scorpion?
Yeah.
So it is never actually outlined what this is, whether it is some kind of scorpion or some kind of like fish, manta ray kind of thing.
It does. It looks like their ships.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
So the guy who originally designed it was thinking of a scorpion when he was designing it, but he was also thinking when he designed the symbol and the ships at like the same time, and he was thinking about like Egyptian ankhs and stuff when he was designing their ships, which is why actually the phaser emitters on Cardassian ships are pyramids. So there's a fun little trivia for you.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a bit Ankh shaped, isn't it?
However, the best that I can, kind of figure out is that it is in fact some kind of scorpion from like the Cardassian home world. The Cardassian home world is very wet and like jungly, I guess. So like there are scorpions in the jungle, I mean, they're in the desert too. It really wouldn't have mattered what they had, except for like if it was like a frozen tundra, that would be weird to have a scorpion there. It's very hot too. Sorry, I'm hot and humid. So there is no actual like canon lore on this, but given that the Cardassian Union's kind of ethos is a lot of like obvious power and weaponry, a scorpion does make sense because a scorpion looks intimidating, like on its surface, there are plenty of animals in the animal kingdom that are like venomous that don't look scary until they actually fuck you up. A scorpion looks like it's going to fuck you up. Right.
Got the pinchers and nasty tail and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. So it does fit the Cardassian ethos of, power and, kind of like, the nicest way to say it is a lack of subtlety. Sure. When it comes to how their government and society is structured. Much more so in my opinion than like a stingray. So, but yeah, pretty cool. A wormhole, this is the next symbol. A wormhole features very, that's right, yeah. A wormhole features very prominently as the source of their religion. The Bajoran logo, there's a couple of different versions of it. Let me pull it up. So there's a couple different versions of it. Some of them don't have the like swirls to indicate that it is a wormhole. Some of them just kind of have them as planets. But it is kind of an egg-shaped design with a wormhole at the bottom emanating something out like above it. The concept of the caregivers, whatever they fucking were called. No, not caretakers. That was Voyager.
That was
the prophets.
Voyager.
The prophets. The hourglass shaped and alien things in the wormhole have always kind of meddled in the Bajoran society and like made their religion and stuff because I guess they were bored. I think was the ultimate reason. So it is of no surprise, of course, that the Bajoran the Bajoran symbol would be a wormhole. Given that a lot of Bajor's identity in the post-Cardassian occupation is also based on this wormhole, it's even less surprising. Because while Bajor had myths and legends of the wormhole, it was not actually like truly, like proven and solidified as a trade route and whatnot until the pilot episode of DS9, basically.
Right.
Okay, a red claw superimposed over a lattice of computer circuitry. Origin is a little ambiguous, but it is implied that a dominant living tissue hand is backed up by technological adaptation.
The Borg?
That is correct.
The Borg have a symbol?
The Borg have a logo. And I knew this before tonight and you probably recognize it as soon as you see it. I knew that before tonight because it's in a lot of the video games and stuff.
Oh, okay. Like, I try to remember, like, the episodes if they... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But it does show up in some of the episodes. It is, in fact, a Borg logo, although there is some dispute as to whether or not it, like, why do the Borg have a logo?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Did they assimilate a graphics designer, and that's just what popped out? However, people did make a I saw some convincing arguments that were like, well, the Borg are not, and this is something that gets kind of missed, is that the Borg are not necessarily like devoid of aesthetic and emotion. They just have so many species and they are one person, right? Who tends to be kind of stilted. But like, there's nothing that says the Borg can't like something, you know? And there's lots of evidence that like they kind of do, because they do the whole Locutus thing.
Sure.
And the Borg Queen likes to fuck with Janeway. Like, if the Borg are effectively a single consciousness, there's no reason that consciousness can't have some tastes. Whether or not they are in good taste or not is rather subjective. But like, maybe they just like it, you know? But other people were pointing out that like, even if the Borg don't necessarily need a logo, they obviously use languages to talk to other species. So like, having a symbol that you like represents them would mean something to other species. So then why not do this too, you know? Because they go through the effort of using other languages. Because there is the Borg can talk to each other without ever talking. And yet they do still talk English when they're talking at the Federation, right?
Sure.
So yeah.
I was going to guess Borg. I'm like, did the Borg have a symbol?
It's so weird that they do.
Like, I remember there being one, like, in the games, but I didn't know if they just made that for the games, because, you know, everybody in the games had one, but... This
plaque here with the yellow computer lines underneath the red hand is actually in the very first episode with the Borg.
Interesting.
Q who?
Q who?
Q.
Two more. The next one represents a general layout of the planetary system orbiting their binary star.
Andorian?
That is correct. I had more clues. I didn't know if that would give to you.
Yeah, I knew they were at a binary star, so.
Their logo is blue because their skin is blue, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
It occurs to me that like Andoria uses a lot of blue in their motifs, which, like, thinking about it, that's weird, right? Because it's not like anyone's got like a flesh colored like logo or anything right here on Earth. But yeah, so the Andorians live on an icy moon of a gas giant. The moons of Andoria are a famous like expression throughout Star Trek. So the implication is that like their system has a lot of large planets with a bunch of moons. So that's what this symbol kind of shows. It is a rough map of their system.
Sure.
I don't know which one is theirs, like, you know, but that is the general concept. Again, it's weird to have your flesh be the inspiration for your color palette. All right, last one. It seems to be a bit of their script, perhaps very heavily stylized. It's blocky, like much of their technology. It is actually kind of a square on its side with a bunch of random like geometrical lines through it. There's no this has only shown up. It's not the Borg. This has only shown up in a handful of episodes and mostly in later stuff.
That's not ringing any bells for me. I'm just trying to think of like other races it could be that are like more, you know, bigger races, but
right. And you definitely, not only do we know these, we have seen them on this show.
On this show.
Huh.
Drawn a blank. I have no idea.
Here, let me put the symbol in. Maybe that'll help.
The Suliban?
It is not the Suliban.
I have no idea.
The Breen?
You're on kind of a right track, but I'll just tell you. It is the Tellarite.
Tellarite, okay.
The Tellarite, the fourth founding member of the Federation. They do not get a symbol until Discovery.
Interesting.
They were never given one in Enterprise or any of the, because they've shown up in pretty much every Star Trek.
Right, they're always like ancillary, like aliens.
They're always like background characters and shit.
Yeah.
But they do show up in Discovery kind of early on, and then they show up, this symbol does show up in Lower Decks as well, and Prodigy. So there isn't a lot known about this symbol other than it is Tellarite. The kind of like squares underneath with the weird kind of like patterns missing, they look like a Game of Life stuff, if the programmer there. Mm-hmm. That is actually Tellarite's script. So there's a thought that like that center white square is actually Tellarite writing, but kind of stylized. So it might just be like the word Tellarite or something of that nature, or Tellar or whatever their home planet is. But there is not any clear like lore that is given about this particular symbol.
They're big Minecraft fans.
So yeah, that's what I got. Kind of interesting stuff. I find Empire symbols to be kind of cool. I've always really liked them because in my brain, like, a designer sat down and thought about it and cranked out a symbol, and like, they always have some kind of meaning, whether it is personal to the artists themselves or an idea of kind of like the lore behind what they're creating. So it's very cool when things have not only like interesting logos, but also very impactful and like long lasting logos. Mm-hmm. Star Wars is really good at this. Star Wars has a bunch of them, but like the Rebel Alliance logo is identifiable no matter where the fuck you go. You can see that.
Yep.
And I'm almost jealous of people's ability to slap logos together, because it is not an easy art. Like, there is definitely a skill to that I've not learned. Okay, Chris, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, I was, but it wasn't a finished thought, so I withheld it.
Well, that's no fun. All right, well, does anyone have anything else about this?
It was fun.
All right, cool.
Wait, did I win?
I think it was actually, I think Chris had 5, you had 4. Okay, neither of you got the Tellarite one.
Yeah.
Because I think it was tied up after Borg, but then he got the Andorian one. So, all right, we will take another break, and we will be back with Potpourri.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so for today's episode, we were going to wrap up with a little Star Trek news. A couple things going on, which I wanted to touch on. First, apparently yesterday, some Paramount stock slipped because the reported Sony purchase of Paramount is kind of falling apart, I guess. They're rethinking their bid to acquire Paramount in conjunction with the private equity firm Apollo Global Management, who also owns like Nickelodeon and MTV and a couple different other media things. This was Sony's offer was came after another offer had kind of fallen apart with Skydance, which had happened later in the month. So as far as Paramount sale, which has kind of been rumored for at least since December, is kind of not happening, at least at this moment. There's no other rumored buyers happening with it right now, so they're going to kind of continue on our own, which probably means they're going to continue cutting costs because.
Yeah, are they losing money? Is that what's happening?
Okay, so I was looking to do it as this is an article from April 3rd. I guess Paramount Plus had grown to like 63 million subscribers with costs going down, but it's still not making money. So
fucking 63 million subscribers giving at least what, $5-6 a month?
Yeah, this is
this is much money.
This
Disney
is really
Disney Plus is having the same problem. Like
this is a global streaming issue.
Yeah, streaming services in general are just obscenely expensive, and
what now? And I don't know if y'all know this, because I certainly don't. But like, what is the overhead on stream? Like, what is the issue? Is it the actual bandwidth?
So the problem is with how streaming services are, the way you make money is by attracting new subscribers, right?
Well, I mean, you make money every month from the subscriptions, But like, so
Sure.
I guess the only way you make new money is with new subscribers. But like, if I've
But
got a million people
at this
giving
point,
me,
we're getting into the problems of capitalism if we go down that
sure,
road.
and I guess like, and that may be the actual answer is that like because it's not about maintaining, it's about growth, right? Because
Right.
like if I have 1 million subscribers, I'm making $5 million a month. Period. Like I'm still making all of that money.
Right. But to attract new subscribers, which is what they're trying to do, they have to, make a lot of shows. And I guess like the production level for all these shows is quite high. So it's expensive.
So it's definitely the production though. It's not like the infrastructure costs.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure they're not none, but like
right. Like that's the part they were talking about, and they were saying like costs have gone down, but yeah, it's mostly in the content production.
Okay, interesting. I mean, having watched Discovery, like I'm not surprised that shit's expensive to make. Like,
yeah. So who knows what the impact on Star Trek in general will be? Obviously, we've already felt some of that with Discovery being canceled after its 5th season, with Lower Decks being canceled as well. So who knows exactly what the long run is? I imagine there's not going to be any new series or anything like that isn't already planned anytime soon, at least until this Paramount gets sold or they fix their debt problem.
Hey, but you know what? At least we're getting that Section 31 movie with Giorgio.
Yep, it's I
got an idea. I got an idea to save money.
What is it? What is it?
It's not make that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, depending if they get sold, who buys them, will change whether it's just all the content being moved to a new streaming service or new content being made. But I'd imagine we're going to see a slowdown compared to the vast amount of new content that's come out over the last 4 years or so. On to some more fun and interesting news. Star Trek on May 9th won a Peabody Award. It was the Institutional Award. The Peabody Group's release for it was from a groundbreaking television series to an expansive collection of films, novels, comic books, and so much more. Star Trek has been delivering joy, wonder, and thought-provoking stories since the 1960s. With powerful anti-war and anti-discrimination messages, it has blazed trails for all science fiction franchises while winning over passionate fans across the globe. We're proud to honor Star Trek with Peabody's Institutional Award.
Is it anti-war?
I mean, sometimes.
I'm sorry, a lot of the solutions throughout all of Star Trek, including the original series, seem to involve phasers. Like a lot of the solutions.
You're not wrong. I will say they definitely do have episodes that focus on kind of the horrors and ramifications of war. But yeah, you're also not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the later episodes of DS9 were exclusively focused around war. So.
Boy, I can't wait till we get there because I'm curious whether those are framed in the way to make it actually anti-war. Because like, there's been plenty of movies that are like, oh, the horrors of war, but are also like, but this is the cost that our brave men have to pay in order to keep us free. Like,
well, and like even with Enterprise, like with the current arc that's going on, like.
Archer's itching for some war.
Yeah, Archer very pointedly said, like, we're going to do what needs to be done, Trip, when they were, like, setting out on this little adventure. And
Trip's
we
like,
still
hell
don't really
yeah.
know what the plan is once they find the Xindi.
Right.
Yep. All right, and then last, we have Star Trek 4. It gets a new writer. And Paramount is still continuing development on it.
Star Trek 4? No, that movie's already out. Leonard Nimoy wrote that shit.
Kelvin Timeline Star Trek 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So apparently Steve Yockey, who is the creator of the Kaley Cuoco-led Mac series The Flight Attendant, I have no idea what that is, and I've never seen it, has joined...
I think I've heard good things, but I don't remember.
Yeah, they've joined the Paramount sequel as a screenwriter. We still don't know a whole lot about the plot of Star Trek 4.
Well, they just got a new writer, Chris. I'll give them some time to actually write the goddamn thing.
Like, are they gonna recast everybody? Because, like, it's been a while.
That seems to be up in the air. At least last I read.
But they're like Hollywood people, so they don't look any different.
I mean, Chris Pine still looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but like
same
Chris
with Zachary
Pine,
Quinto.
Yeah.
He specifically said like he doesn't want any part in any more Star Trek movies.
And I'm sure he's right until they show him how much money they're going to pay him.
I mean, Will Shatner is still trying to get back into Star Trek, so you know. So new writer, that's still coming supposedly. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. There's so little out there right now, so who knows? But yeah, that is what's going on in Star Trek news right now.
I didn't know that the Peabody Award could be awarded to institutions.
Yeah, that was a new one for me as well.
That seems kind of vague.
But
it's like, we're going to give this one to the Institution of Physics. Yay, physics. You've done a lot for us over the years, physics.
It's an award.
Oh, man. I don't know. The Paramount stuff is very like, I'm not worried about us because, well, first of all, we don't have any listeners. But second of all, like, we're not going to run out of content within a reasonable amount of time. So
right.
I'm not worried.
I mean, what if Paramount Plus shuts down though, and like we don't have easy access to the media?
Then we take to the seas. I
was gonna say there may be a period at some point, especially like right after a sale if it happens, where it's not going to be accessible anywhere. I mean, that's kind of happened with Prodigy, right?
Right.
Like when it got sold, it had that few months where you couldn't watch it anywhere. So.
And like if Paramount breaks up and starts selling off IPs, there's no fucking way no one's gonna pick up Star Trek.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Disney
for sure.
might pick it up. Like
Amazon already has a lot of it in their library.
Yeah,
no. I mean pick up the IP as like an owner of the IP.
Right.
Oh.
Like I don't know what Paramount is doing that they're not able to monetize Star Trek appropriately.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I looked it up. The Peabody's Institutional Award, the description of it is the Institutional Award recognizes institutions and organizations as well as series and programs for their enduring body of work and their lasting impact on the media landscape and the public imagination.
Huh. I mean, you can't argue with that. Like, it's actually surprising that Star Trek didn't get one earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, like somebody will pick up Star Trek. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, how the fuck are you not able to make money off of this? Why aren't there more video games? You know, why aren't there more? Like, why aren't you making more cheaper shit? Like Prodigy, I know it's like CGI and stuff, so it can't be as expensive as like Discovery, but it's it's good content, you know? Like,
the funny thing is Paramount has been making video games over the last couple of years, but they've all just been like crappy mobile games.
Yeah.
And like they're still like trying to milk what's left of Star Trek Online.
And I think that's part of the problem, right? They're investing very little into anything but it seems like the shows for the streaming platform, which they're not getting money on. So
right, they should pull a D&D and get like a studio to make them something like Larian did.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could do it.
We could do it.
Totally.
We could.
Totally.
We'll like. Well, hold on. We got time. What would be your favorites? Like, what would be a good Star Trek game that like doesn't exist, at least in the current realm? Like, it's okay if the game existed before but is now dead.
Chris, I made a mistake. Oh no, I got it. Transporter Bejeweled, where if you screw up, you wind up with two people.
No, hold on.
Let him cook.
There's no bad ideas. I think this one might be on something.
If you get a Tuvix, do you lose or do you win? Which one is it?
It depends on how you feel about the situation.
Yeah, you can either lose 2 crew members or kill Tuvix and we all lose.
Or do we all win?
Like, thinking back on that episode, there's a lot of people who are like, she committed murder. And I'm like, I'm not sure I agree.
Yeah,
like,
I also don't agree. This
is not a clear-cut thing. And I think they like, it's a surprisingly interesting moral conundrum.
Yeah, it is a good moral conundrum because I don't think there is a right answer except that it was to kill Tuvix and Janeway did nothing wrong.
Oh shit. Oh, I didn't realize we had a Tuvix murder apologist in our chat. Wolf 359 was an inside job.
So,
all right, Chris, sail us out.
All right. Just as Stanford said at the top, please rate, review, subscribe, check our stuff on YouTube, do all the things, send us, basically interact with us, give us the clicks. Please, God, we would appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.